something very strange is happening inside the Labour Party. Right now, it's exploding into open anger, accusations of cowardice, and even whispers of a leadership challenge. A senior Labour figure has just been blocked from running for Parliament, and the fallout from this decision could genuinely reshape British politics. Stay with me, because this story isn't just about one politician, Andy Burnham. It's about power, it's about fear, and it's about who the Labour Party believes can actually beat Reform UK. Over the weekend, Labour's National Executive Committee made a hugely controversial decision. Andy Burnham, the very popular mayor of Greater Manchester, was officially stopped from standing as a Member of Parliament. The vote was reportedly backed personally by the Prime Minister. Within hours, furious MPs were speaking both privately and publicly about betrayal. One even described the move as cowardly. But why on earth would the Labour Party block one of its most recognizable and popular figures? Well, that's where this story gets really interesting. The Prime Minister's official, public explanation sounds quite simple on the surface. He says Labour is heading into an incredibly crucial election period. We have local council elections happening across England, a major government contest in Wales, and what could be a historic opportunity for the party in Scotland. These are elections, he says, that could affect the lives of millions of people across the country. And here's the key argument he makes. If Andy Burnham were to run for Parliament now, it would automatically trigger a mayoral election in Manchester. That's an election the party doesn't legally have to hold right now. That means money would be diverted, campaign staff would be pulled away from other fights, and the party's overall focus would be lost. But here's the thing. Many people inside the Labour Party just aren't buying that explanation. And this is where the tension starts to deepen. Because if this were really just a simple matter of logistics and campaign resources, why are so many senior MPs so incredibly angry? Why is the phrase leadership challenge suddenly being whispered in the corridors of Westminster again? And why does Andy Burnham's name keep appearing in those very same conversations? Several MPs believe this decision isn't really about local elections at all. They believe it's about fear. The fear that Andy Burnham, who is popular, outspoken, and very well known outside the Westminster bubble, could one day become a serious threat to the current leadership. The accusation, bubbling under the surface, is that blocking him from entering Parliament now is a way to prevent a bigger problem for the leadership later on. Now, the Prime Minister strongly denies that. He points to Labour Party rules that were introduced 2 years ago. Those rules say that anyone already holding an elected role must get special permission from the party before they can stand for Parliament. And the presumption under those rules is against it. But his critics argue that rules don't explain the raw politics of the situation. And politics, they say, is what this is really all about? Because deep inside the Labour Party, there is a growing anxiety, and it has a name. Nigel Farage. Some Labour MPs believe that Reform UK poses the biggest threat the party has faced in years. And they quietly worry that if the party gets its strategy wrong, if it picks the wrong messenger, they could end up handing the country to Farage. That's precisely why some of them believe that Andy Burnham, with his northern straight-talking appeal, could be a much stronger national figure, someone better able to connect with those traditional, working-class voters who have been drifting away from mainstream politics. The Prime Minister rejects that argument entirely. He says the defining battle of our era is between a united Labour Party on one side and what he calls the politics of division from reform on the other. And he insists that unity, not internal conflict, is the only way for Labour to win. But right now, unity is the one thing the Labour Party clearly does not have. As this story has developed, the language being used has become very telling. There's been talk of a potential civil war inside Labour. MPs are describing the party as angry, anxious, and deeply unsettled. So what's the message coming from the top? The Prime Minister says there are two things that must come before everything else. First, the cost of living. He argues it remains the single biggest issue facing families across Britain. And second, that the real fight isn't inside the Labour Party. It's outside. It's the fight against reform, against political division, and against the risk of losing the next general election. But here's the question that many inside the Labour Party are now asking themselves. If the party is this divided before the election campaign has even properly begun, what happens when the pressure really hits? And could this decision, a decision that was meant to protect the Labour Party, end up exposing its biggest weakness? Because sometimes The battles that political parties try their hardest to avoid are the very ones they simply cannot escape. Thanks for watching!